Hi everyone, Pam here, and today we're going to talk about noise.
All right.
Not a lot of people think about how noise can affect our loved ones, but that it is something that I've had to think about for several years. Um, I know that whenever we would ride in the car, be going anywhere, if there was any kind of a little tapping noise or a rattle or whatever it might have been, we would have to pull over so he could find it and get it to stop. It drove him crazy. He has suffered with tinnitus for years, as far as I can back as I can remember. But it became more pronounced as time went, and I started noticing little things, like if I had a cup of tea or hot cocoa and I'd be stirring it, and even if I tried to stir softly, it would just drive him crazy. And I didn't understand what was going on. I had no idea what was happening. And then I noticed as we would be eating at the dinner table, sometimes your fork will slide or you're cutting with a knife and it makes a noise on your plate. And he would make comments. And then I started noticing that he was eating very gingerly and very quietly. And I got kind of aggravated at first because I thought he was trying to show me how to eat so that I would not make so much noise and bother him. But it was maybe for that, but it was for him too, because he didn't want to have to hear the banging and clanging and scraping and all of that. So it wasn't long after I began to understand what was going on with him that I discovered that many people who have CTE or TES or FTD or any dementia, that noises can really be disturbing to them. And like if you were to go into a hospital, you have all the beeps and all the people hollering and the intercom going off and the phones ringing and nurses hollering down the hall, patients in another room screaming and crying out. And that is very disorienting. I guess it's stimulation overload. And many of them have a very difficult time being in the hospital. It happened with my father-in-law, and so I suggested to his wife that she get him a headset with some music that he could listen to, and it worked. It calmed him down. And I knew that because I had purchased a Bluetooth wireless headset for my husband that he wears all the time. Like out in the yard, he used to get mad at the neighbor and would say, he only comes out when I'm out there and he's doing this on purpose. Well, to him, that's how it seemed. And the noise was just driving him crazy, but that wasn't really what was going on. But once he got the headset, it really helped him to be able to settle into things, and it's made our lives way easier. It's like he carries earplugs and the headset everywhere we go. Now, we don't go to real noisy places like we used to go to basketball games. We don't go to those anymore. It's just too loud. We can go to a baseball game, but we have the earplugs and the headset, and that way if things are just too loud even outside, and it can be too loud, he can put those in and it helps to muffle it, and we're still able to go and enjoy some sports. We went to Yellowstone, and you would think, wow, Yellowstone, what a relaxing place to go. Well, it's crowded and tons of people, and you had to wait in line to get inside. And we got to the campsite, and it was so crowded, and people were on top of each other, and the dogs were barking, and the people were talking too loud and too much, and it was an overload to the point that we had to leave the campground, and we would only come back to the campground each night after the quiet hour started because it was just too much. And so we found ways to adjust, and that's what we do. We're always looking for ways to adjust ourselves. And so you will find that I am going to share some tips throughout the time that I do these videos. I will bring in tips to help with quieting things down, and tips on how to adjust, and tips on what to do when you're in this place or that place. Like right here at home, I have already uploaded a couple of videos, but hadn't thought about talking about how noise is difficult for them and how it can bother them. But anyway, there's a couple of videos about quieting the kitchen. And I will have more as time goes, but I hope that this video helps you to understand just a little better that some of the things that you might notice with your loved one could possibly be caused by noise. Like if you have children, I feel for those of you who have children, because your task is way bigger than mine. You've got to figure out how to keep the kids happy and how to keep the spouse happy. And you know, one thing you could try is maybe having a quiet room for your spouse that nobody can go in but them, and have a TV set up in there, maybe some music and a chair, lounge chair, couch, or something that they can rest on, where they can go to get that quiet time, because the living room or the family room, that's not the place, because the kids are going to be going in there, and it's hard to confine children just to their bedroom all the time. So there's little things you can do. And also, as they realize that you understand what they're going through, it gets a little easier to make suggestions. Start with giving them a headset and say, I read that this might help. And then, like, my husband has learned that sometimes he just has to exit. He needs to go out of the room. Now, I didn't exactly suggest that to him. He just kind of did it, except like when we were on some trips where you're visiting family and things get kind of loud, and we had a wedding reception to go to and stuff. And I told him, I said, now you can go outside if it starts getting to be too much. And from that, it started working into here at home, where he learned that sometimes I just have to step out of the room or step outside. So as you go through this, you'll find what works for you and your spouse and your family. But don't give up. Just keep on trying, and eventually you will find what's going to work for you. There are solutions. There are always solutions. And if you like what you're seeing here on the videos, be sure to hit the subscribe button. And if you want to know whenever a new video comes up, hit the bell, and a notification will come to you in your email. I hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, be sure to ask. I'll be happy to answer. Y'all have a great day.